Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley are Los Angeles Lakers teammates. This seems crazy after the two engaged in a dispute that lasted for almost 10 years. Therefore, it seems necessary to review the events leading up to the lengthy brawl, as well as everything that transpired between them during those tumultuous years. That's why in today's video, we'll take a closer look at the history of Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley's decade-long NBA beef. Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley got to the NBA in very different ways. Westbrook became an NBA star right away, while Beverley had to put in extra work playing overseas in the NBA G League. The origin of this lengthy feud started in a playoff game in 2013 when Russell dribbled towards the sideline to call a timeout. As he was doing so, Beverley dove in for the ball and hit Russ in the knee area. Words were exchanged, Westbrook ended up with the season-ending injury, and the decade-long beef started. But before we dive in any deeper, let's take a closer look at the vastly different roads to the NBA. In college, Russell Westbrook was a UCLA star and led his team to the Final Four in both years he played. He entered the 2008 NBA draft and was picked by the Seattle Supersonics, who eventually went on to become the Oklahoma City Thunder with the 4th overall pick. Russell soon became a regular all-star and formed a highly successful trio with Kevin Durant and James Harden, helping the Oklahoma City Thunder reach the 2012 NBA Finals. OKC eventually went on to trade Harden to the Houston Rockets, but the team improved, winning 60 of the 82 games the following season. At the time, Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant were regarded as one of the best duos in all of the NBA. Entering the 2013 playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder were a force to be reckoned with and wanted revenge for their NBA Finals loss last season. Russell's physique was superhuman-esque, and the young star hadn't missed a single game since being drafted almost 5 years prior. They were teamed up against James Harden's Houston Rockets in the first round of the playoffs. And in Game 2, fate would bring the 2 point guards together forever. Beverly was born in Chicago, where he was a high school prospect balling for a college scholarship. He eventually ended up at the University of Arkansas and made a name for himself by winning the SEC Freshman of the Year awarded by the league's coaches. In his second year, Beverly was a candidate for the Wooden Award, as well as the Naismith College Player of the Year award. Unlike Westbrook, Beverly chose to stay in college for the 2008-09 season. This would be a choice that eventually would affect his career greatly. In August 2008, Beverly was deemed ineligible to play in the whole college season because of an academic integrity issue on a class paper. He initially denied the claim but eventually came clean. "Someone did a paper for me. I turned in a paper that wasn't mine. I accepted full punishment for it. That's over. I served my punishment." Instead of waiting out his suspension in the US, Beverly hired an agent and decided to prepare for the NBA in the Ukrainian Basketball League. Beverly automatically entered into the 2009 NBA Draft, where he was selected in the second round by the Los Angeles Lakers. The Miami Heat acquired Beverly's rights the day after and brought him to the training camp. Unfortunately for Bev, he was let go just before the start of the regular season as part of the final roster cuts. Beverly then returned to Europe and balled out. After that first season in Ukraine, Bev played a year in Greece and then moved to Russia, where he actually became Euro Cup MVP for the Spartak St. Petersburg. After that very successful season in Russia, the NBA and the Houston Rockets came calling. After a short stint in the NBA G League, he made his NBA debut in January of 2013. It's safe to say, based on the intensity level he played with, Bev had no plans on returning to Europe anytime soon. And although he was only a bench player at the time, he always made his presence felt. In his first game against the Oklahoma City Thunder during the regular season, he and Russ only shared the floor for a few minutes. But in their next meeting in the following 2013 playoffs, Bev got his first start. Remember the part when Beverly dove in for the ball as Russ called for a timeout? Yeah, we're back here. And although Westbrook was able to finish the game and OKC eventually eliminated the Rockets, the incident left him with a season-ending torn meniscus injury. During that game, Beverly was accused of playing too rough. He countered the accusations by saying,
"Don't go out there and try to hurt anybody. I was just trying to make a play on the ball before they called timeout."
Bev's attempt to reach the ball was at most questionable, but it was in no way a particularly dirty play. However, it was a reflection of his competitive nature that ultimately helped Beverly stay in the NBA all these years. Additionally, players have been caught faking timeouts. Meanwhile, Westbrook had some doubts regarding Beverly's motives. "That's really something I can't answer," he said. "I just hope it wasn't a dirty play." Beverly, though, was unapologetic and unmoved by the whole thing. He waved aside online abuse and even death threats from the OKC fans. In March of 2014, almost a year after their first encounter, Westbrook and Beverly met again. Russ had been through no fewer than 3 surgeries to get his knee right. This time, it went without any injuries, but Bev slapped the ball from Russell's hands, thereby receiving a technical. This incident actually made Westbrook furious once again, and he felt Bev was sending a disrespectful message. Beverly said he wasn't trying to send a message, but that's just how he plays against everybody. "No personal battles against anybody," he said. "I go out there and fight and do what I do to try to win a basketball game." In a regular season game in December 2016, they were at it again. The OKC fans, of course, booed Beverly during pregame warm-ups. This game, Beverly defended against Russ really well, and it eventually forced Westbrook into an air ball on a last-second attempt, followed by after-the-game trash talk by Beverly. Westbrook, on the other hand, refused to give Bev any credit. This only led to extra tension getting into another playoff matchup in April later that season. Westbrook no longer had Kevin Durant on his team, and the Rockets eliminated the Thunder in 5 games. There wasn't a lot of trash talking between the two during the series, except a verbal back and forth during the decisive Game 5. Halfway through the 4th quarter, Beverly caught a pass meant for Westbrook, setting off the altercation. Russ immediately grabbed Beverly around the waist to foul him, and the two began to bicker back and forth. But this was just a preview of what to expect at the post-game press conference. Bev trashed Westbrook's performance, saying,
Creating ability. But now it shocked me because he said he looked up and said, "No one can guard me. I got 40 points." I'm like, "That's nice." He took 34 shots to get it.
Russ, on the other hand, still refused to give Beverly any props.
Oh yeah, he was talking about he was first team all defense, but I didn't know what the hell he was talking about because I had 42 at the time. The series, I don't know what he talking about. Maybe he was dreaming of some shit. I don't know.
Shots fired again. Yet again, a lot of time would pass before the two enemies met up again. This time, after being traded, Patrick Beverley was a Los Angeles Clipper. We're now in the start of the 2016 NBA season. Russell Westbrook faked cradling a helpless baby in his arms after slipping by Beverly for a layup. Russ did not take into account how simple it would be to replicate the move, and Beverly gave the Thunder point guard a taste of his own medicine later in the game. And sure enough, when Beverly tossed himself after a loose ball in the 4th quarter, he flew dangerously close to Westbrook's knees, making the reigning MVP fall to the ground. The post-foul squabble escalated to the point that the Oklahoma City police officers actively got involved, stepping in the way of Westbrook's and Beverly's back and forth. After the game, Bev said,
I didn't. I feel like I went for a loose ball. I mean, I don't know.
Russ, on the other hand, whose team just won the matchup, said,
You got little kids. You gotta give the little babies, put them to sleep. You got little kids on you.
Okay.
That's what happens.
referring to his Rockabye Baby celebration on Beverly. The next matchup was in November of 2019. This time, Westbrook was on a different team as well after being traded to the Houston Rockets earlier that summer. The Rockets beat the Clippers 102-93 with James Harden going bonkers with 47 points. He practically cooked every Clipper throughout the entire game. But Russ decided to give his nemesis extra credit for the loss in the post-game scrum. Russ said,
Have Bev trick y'all, man, like he play defense. He don't guard nobody, man, just running around doing nothing.
Beverly later responded to what Westbrook said on an episode of JJ Redick's podcast, The Old Man in the Three.
He damaged my career. Like people, coaching staffs and players, fans, they looked at me way different.
It wouldn't be so long until the next matchup. And on December 19th of 2019, when Beverly's physical approach got him fouled out, Westbrook sarcastically waved him goodbye in front of the crowd. Russ also had a few choice words thrown in for good measure as well, which earned him a technical. Then it would be over 2 years until their next encounter. Though this time, through the social media platform Twitter. Both Russ and Bev were playing on new teams at this point in time. Westbrook had been traded from the Houston Rockets via a season in Washington to the Los Angeles Lakers to join LeBron and Anthony Davis in what could only be described as the missing piece in the Lakers' quest for another championship. Everyone was on board and expectations were high, but it failed big time. Westbrook on the Lakers was a tragedy, and this was the fuel Bev needed to take his over 2-year-long frustration after Russ's 2019 call-out. Beverly tweeted, "I remember when somebody claimed all I do is run around and I trick y'all. Well, my boy is the real magician this year." This, of course, added insult to injury to Westbrook's Lakers season.
There's no fun when the rabbit got the gun now. And I'm over here in Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm chilling. I'm trying to get out this play-in situation and try to get 6th seed and just a real humble tweak. Forgive but not forgotten type of thing. Perfect timing too, huh?
On March 16th, 2022, the Lakers and Timberwolves played each other in what can only be described as a blowout loss for the LA team. The Timberwolves players especially went after Russ during the game. Afterwards, Westbrook aired his frustration with both the trash talk but also seeing how the Timberwolves players reacted after the win. Westbrook said, "Their trash talking doesn't bother me. Nobody over there has done anything in this league." Beverly was quick to respond on Twitter. "Playoffs every year, 2 Western Conference Finals with 2 different teams. Individual stats or team stats. I thought it was a team sport." And as fate would have it, when Patrick Beverley surprisingly was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers at the end of the following summer, it naturally attracted a lot of attention. The entire NBA world was waiting in anticipation to see if the two foes could actually coexist. After learning about the trade, Westbrook insisted firmly that everything was alright between him and Beverley. Westbrook also asserted that he is a laid-back person who never holds grudges, especially when they have to do with physical altercations on the court.
No process, man. I'm an easygoing guy. I don't hold grudges against anybody. Life is too short, man.
Russell actually came to welcome his new Lakers teammate Patrick Beverley at their first practice together, and it went really well. Bev claims he and Russell are prepared to put the beef behind them and focus on helping the Lakers the best way they can. According to Patrick Beverley, playing with Russell Westbrook excites him. He thinks the two will work well together and complement one another. He claims that he has never played with a person who has the same grit and toughness as him. However, he also said that they will need to have a difficult conversation at some point. All eyes were on Patrick Beverley at the Los Angeles Lakers Media Day earlier this September. Bev sat down on the panel with the reporters, and the conversation soon shifted towards him and Russ. Beverly said,
"Right now, I don't know, I've been here, 2-3 weeks, but if I was to have a best friend on the team right now, for sure be him. We spend the most time together. We've been locked in, lift weights together and all that stuff, so I'm super excited."
Beverly also defended Westbrook in a Twitter post, responding to Fox Sports 1 Skip Bayless against the notion that he is merely acting decently right now, but will soon go back to detesting Beverly during the season. Bev quickly replied, "Nah, Skip, I have a good feeling about this." Well, we'll just have to wait and see if this good feeling actually lasts. Hey guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.